The crystalline bridge hummed beneath Kaelen's boots, the green light intensifying as he progressed deeper into the mesa's heart. Xylan, struggling to keep pace, coughed, his frail frame trembling. The murals, they depict beings unlike any Avian, he gasped, gesturing towards the walls that flickered with animated scenes of a civilization both familiar and utterly alien. They were tall, slender, with elongated limbs and faces of serene wisdom, the Firstborn. They shaped the souls, Kaelen said, his voice echoing strangely in the vast cavern. Not merely tapped into it, but asterisk-shaped asterisk guided its flow. The Avians, we are echoes of their design. A cold, mocking voice sliced through the cavern's silence. Echo materialized from the shadows, his form solidifying into a grotesque parody of the Firstborn's grace. Sentimentality, Kaelen. A predictable flaw. You cling to the ghosts of a failed experiment. They weren't fail, Kaelen retorted, his hand instinctively reaching to the energy pulsing beneath his skin. They understood balance. You seek only dominion. Echo laughed, a sound like grinding stone. Balance, stagnation. Power's evolution. The architects understood that long ago. They merely guided the Firstborn's work, ensuring its true potential was realized. Lies, Kaelen spat. Visions flooded his mind at images of manipulation, of a deliberate fracturing of the Firstborn's connection to the source, a purposeful severing that created the Avians and something else, something darker. They sought to control the source, to twist it to their will. A voice resonated in Kaelen's mind, not his own, but the serpentine creatures, ancient and wise. They created a chasm between the soul and the power. The Avians, in their ignorance, believe they are free, but they are puppets dancing to a forgotten tune. The severing, Kaelen murmured, the word pasting like ash in his mouth. It wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate act. The cavern seemed to pulse with the revelation. Xylan stumbled, gripping Kaelen's arm for support. What was severed? What are you talking about? A connection, Kaelen said, his gaze fixed on the far end of the crystalline bridge, where a monolithic obsidian structure dominated the landscape. It was a nexus point, a wound in the fabric of reality. The connection between the Firstborn's power and their essence. It created two lineages, the Avians, as we know ourselves, and the Guardians. Guardians? Xylan questioned, his voice laced with fear. They were meant to safeguard the source, to prevent its misuse. A serpentine creature's voice echoed in Kaelen's mind, but the architects twisted their purpose. They became corrupted, bound to their dark agenda. Echo's voice dripped with scorn. Romantic nonsense. The Guardians are merely remnants, shadows of a forgotten past. They serve no purpose. As if in defiance, the obsidian structure began to glow, emitting a pulse of energy that resonated with Kaelen's own. He felt a surge of power, a connection to something vast and ancient. He grew stronger, Echo hissed, his form flickering with barely suppressed fury. The architects will not tolerate this defiance. Suddenly, robed figures materialized from the shadows, their faces obscured by grotesque masks, their movements precise and menacing. They were the vanguard of the architects, silent enforcers of their will. They have come to silence him, the serpentine creature said, its voice a calming presence amidst the escalating tension. The Nexus awaits. Claim what was lost, young one. The time is now. Kaelen stepped forward, his gaze fixed on the obsidian structure. He knew that crossing the bridge meant confronting not only the architects but also the dark legacy of the severing. He was ready. He asterisk to be. The fate of Aerilon depended on it. He began to run, the crystalline bridge humming beneath his boots, the fate of Aerilon echoing in his soul.